guilty of crime.
And we're back. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Happy Tuesday. I'm your host, Jay, with Guilty of Crime. We're back. Another day. Guys, people, family, guilty of crime, folks, crime crew. What's up? Come on in, guys. Do me a favor. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't. Get a membership if you can. You want to be in the green. But good evening to you. And Kimberly and Trotter Daughter, Midnight Lace. Looks like you got your book. Krista, how you doing? Avis, good to see you. Melissa Stewart says, hey, all. Nikki, the OG, or am I the OG? All right. Kathy says, a very busy morning. I've been up since 4:30 and it's past midnight. Well, get some rest, my friend. Get some rest. Lady for Justice, how you doing? Guys, come on in. There's a lot to go over today, and I'm glad that I was able to cover it, that I'm able to cover it today. I don't know what the gold coins and the gems are, but thank you, Lady for Justice. You guys do me a favor. I've got my birthday pinned in the comments. If y'all are coming in late or coming in and out, let me know whose birthday it is so we can shout out happy birthday month. All right, guys. And also, if you have the means to get a membership, gift a membership, help towards our goal, that'd be awesome. All right. Good to see you. Yeah, we're here for the facts. Boy, is there a lot put out there. And sometimes in that particular day, when I'm trying to get the information, it doesn't quite come out. But today, it's pretty much all out there, my friends. Welcome. Hey, Indy Isham, good to see you. Noel, good evening. Deborah, Cal, good to see you. I know some of the mods are not here. Foxy's here for a minute. What are you doing? You're coming in today? I thought you just said you weren't. Anyway, happy 27th birthday to Lady for Justice's son. Cancer and Leo season's about to start. Yes, I am on Turtle Island, and thank you all for those who called in and participated last night. Guys, Turtle Island was awesome. And thank you to my girl Tiff for creating the new Turtle Island merch or t-shirt. Awesome. Dolly liked it a lot. So, yeah, go get one. You can get one from our store, from theirs. If you get one from their store, you get votes for Guilty of Crime, but that'll be next Monday. All right? What's up? Good to see everybody. Come on in, guys. His birthday. Oh, I thought you said he's 27. I read it wrong. On the 27th, well, happy Leo season. All right? Happy Leo season. We got a couple more days together, and then I'm out of here, guys. I probably won't be back until mid next week because I'm out for the birthday shenanigans. So let's just get into this. How about that? There's so much to go over today, and we're going to do it. David and Celeste case update. New graphic details released. Guys, huge trigger warning. Just coming on here is going to trigger you when I get to what happened to this little girl. And then we have CSAM going on, right? So is life in prison on the table? Guys, the death penalty is not even off the table. So I'm going to speculate here that there's going to be, number one, there's definitely going to be a trial. Remember, this is not a trial, my friends. This is not a trial. This is all of the information put to the judge to let him decide if there's enough for a trial. one of two things can happen. Well, three things can happen. Number one, he could say, no, go back, give me some more. Number two, the defense could say, this is ridiculous. We should ask for a deal. And number three, it just goes to trial. Millie Mills, good to see you, my friend. Subscribe and hype. Yes, please get us in the algorithm. All right. Baby Bear 44 forever. Hello, Baby Bear. Good to see you. If you're new here, welcome in. Welcome, Baby Bear. And anybody that might be new. I don't know what the gems and stuff is, but thank you. I'll take a diamond ring while you're at it. All right, guys. So Justice for Celeste. I know a lot of you guys have been following this case. I hope you've been following this case. And if not, don't worry, because, well, that's what I'm here for. All right. So Justice for Celeste Rivas Hernandez. And let me remove that real quick. And David is just another perpetrator that will either spend the rest of his life in prison or the death penalty. Right now, again, Nathan Hochman comes in and says it is not off the table. So right when we come in, we're going to talk about that. I'm going to give you the full summary of what happened today by piecing it together. And then we're going to talk about David's life in jail. What's going to happen about his life in jail, whether it is the death penalty or not. So the case centers obviously on Celeste Rivas Hernandez and the dismemberment and killing of her. Guys, there's so much information, right? Her body decomposed and the remains were discovered in September of 2025 inside David's front trunk, right? All evidence points to him, and in court, it all points to him, but in court, I'm going to talk about the physical evidence that they have. And this is only day one. They predict that this is going to be a 3-day preliminary hearing. Guys, physical evidence is huge. Digital evidence and testimony, as well as statements and the relationship of an evidence. Guys, it's off the charts how much evidence that we have between the relationships, the testimonies, the digital communication, and the physical evidence that he just so carelessly left laying around. Right, let's first, before we get into anything else, Justice for Celeste Rivas Hernandez. All right, come on in, guys. As we start, we're going to be here for probably 2 hours. So buckle up, buckle in, make yourself comfortable. Hit like on both accounts. Butter my nug. You got to love that. These names, boy. Welcome, Butter my nug. And I don't know what the gems and the stars and whatever is, but thank you. All right, all roads point to him. Guys, it's even more than roads. Just wait. Oh my God, you're right, Mimi, but my goodness, this is a huge stack of evidence. Ingrid, good to see you, my friend. He's going to have to change his name to bitch now. And he's leaking out music all the while that this is going on from different accounts. I suspect that his brother is doing that, or his parents. Right. Okay, so let's remove this. Justice for Celeste Rivas Hernandez. Guys, her parents are going through a lot right now, so I am not going to victim blame. We're going to let the evidence come out and let you decide what you think they could have done or that they didn't do, or maybe they did, and we're going to find out. All right, let's start with Nathan Hochman and this little 4-minute clip to tell you what's going down, how the case is going to be charged, and just the whole prosecution. Let's do that. First thing.
My name is Nathan Hochman. I'm the Los Angeles County District Attorney.
Yeah,
Today starts the day, the preliminary hearing of David Anthony Burke, the singer David, spelled D4vd. This preliminary hearing will last approximately 3 to 5 days, at which point we will be seeking to hold David to answer for 3 felony counts of which he has been charged. First-degree murder with special circumstances, the count of lewd and lascivious acts with a 13-year-old, and the count of mutilation of human remains. David will be facing a maximum punishment of life without the possibility of parole, or he is also death penalty eligible. The decision on whether or not to seek the death penalty has not been made at this point. Now, the point of a preliminary hearing is somewhat different than you actually perceive in the media, whether it's TV or the movies. Because what often happens in TV or the movies is you go from an immediate arrest into a trial. But in our system, and in California in particular, you have an intermediate step. That intermediate step is a preliminary hearing where effectively the prosecution's evidence is going to be tested before a judge, not a jury. The standard that we have to meet is not beyond a reasonable doubt at the preliminary hearing stage. It is probable cause. We are not obligated, nor will we be presenting all the evidence at a preliminary hearing that we will be presenting at a trial to prove David beyond a reasonable doubt guilty of the 3 felony charges of which he has been charged. So at the preliminary hearing, we will call a number of officers. We estimate there'll be over 10 different witnesses, both officer testimony, coroner testimony, and there'll be individual witnesses as well.
Yeah, this whole thing just gives you a 1,000-foot view of what's happening in this case. And what I hear him saying is that he's got a trick up his sleeve. They've got a trick up their sleeve and they're not showing all of their cards. So if this is a game of poker, well, I'd say on day one, the district attorney, the prosecution has absolutely won. All right, there, we'll get it out of the way. Currency, those jewels and the things, the stars and the jewels, I guess they show financial support, and a star equals a penny. They don't even make pennies anymore, by the way, guys. They're going to get all of the pennies. They cost 5 cents to make 1 penny. So, fun fact. All right, let's continue. I really want you guys to know the facts so that as we move into what's happening and speculation, that nobody can say, no, he's not getting the death penalty, or no, he's not. He didn't say this. No, we put the facts down and then we move forward. Let's continue.
And again, we can rely on hearsay and other things that won't be allowed to be relied on in an actual trial. The judge at the end of the presentation of the evidence, and again, this is evidence that can be cross-examined by a defense attorney, and that process has already been done. At the end of the presentation of all this evidence, the question will be, will David be held to answer on the 3 felony charges? We believe we will more than accomplish the evidentiary burden of probable cause at this point to hold David to answer on these 3 felony charges. At that point, if the judge does hold him to answer, we will file an information that will detail the actual 3 criminal charges. Thereafter, there will be a trial date that will be set, and David, if he so chooses, will proceed to trial. And we will prove at that point, beyond a reasonable doubt, that David committed these 3 crimes. And when, and we do not predict if, when he is convicted, we will then be seeking the sentence that we are allowed to seek by order of the law, and we will let you know at a future date whether or not that sentence will also include the death penalty. So I wanted to take this opportunity as we're starting this preliminary hearing process to explain where the preliminary hearing fits in the process so people can understand as we are presenting evidence. And
it gets a little confusing if you're not a law tuber, right? So I wanted you to know I'm learning, you're learning, we're finding out what's going on. A lot of information came out today, guys, and I'm gonna bring it to you. Although they did not want people streaming, they were okay with them reporting on it afterwards. All right, Jen Johnson, good to see you. David's a scum. I hope he gets a maximum. He's nothing but a brat who's always gotten away with what he wants, no matter what. Well, we'll see. He's not getting away with it. Killing time in North or NE. Welcome. I saw you. I heard you last night on Turtle Island, and I'm glad that you voted the way you did because we're gonna get this game going. Mab, if Mab comes in here, I hope Mab knows that it's all fun and games. Is why I said let's kick Mrs. Mab off because we gotta poke each other. There's got to be one winner of Turtle Island. So welcome everybody. Evil. But have to admit, yes, he was. You have to admit he's talented. See, here's the problem with me is I find him to be evil, but I don't see the talent at all. But it's a different generation. What do I know? I'm an OG, right? All right, let's continue. And guys, this is Los Angeles, right? Nathan Hawkman, of course, is going to go to the tanning bed, get some fillers. You see that? He's got a facelift to smooth. His face looks like he put a mask on. If you're from Los Angeles, guess what? That's how you're going to look. I know. Total waste of everything. That's how I read it. Not talented. Prosecution, man. I would not be surprised if David's and his defense run scared with their tail between their legs after this evidence is presented, guys.
Being cross-examined, what ultimately the standard is for the judge to determine, and that's probable cause, not beyond a reasonable doubt. That is a judge that is doing this determination, not a jury at this point. And that there will subsequently be a trial when the judge holds David to answer on these 3 felony charges. When this preliminary hearing is over, I will come back to address you, and at that point, I will take questions. Thank you very much.
All right, bam. Let's get that out of here. All right, so should we jump off with what? Let's start this. How about this? Let's do a recap because there are several recaps, guys. There are several things happening. I put this up just to show you the things that are coming out on the witness stand, etc. Foxy just gifted a membership for 420 in honor and memory of her brother. All right. If you guys receive that, please thank Foxy and come on out and say hi. Allie says, looking forward to this live, drinking some cold coffee. Cheers. Red Bull. It's way too hot outside to have anything but. I'm an OG too. I like 90s grunge music. You're an OG too? Aye. Hey, Lil Red. Good to see you. You guys, if you got a membership from Foxy, come on out and say hello. All right. Hey, Kristen. Who won? Cuff, you got a... Oh, nice. All right. Let's... So, look, here. These are just some of the things that... This is not really a timeline. It's what came out in the court. And I kind of just wanted to see a visual of... David said he met Celeste online. So, we've got an officer testifying to go into the house and talking to David. Body cam footage of the deputies at David's home that we've never seen. All right. David claimed he last saw Celeste on November 12th, 2023. That was proved to be a lie. And then he showed Celeste's yearbook and a missing poster, or they showed it to him. The defense questioned if David believed that she's 18. And guys, they're still sticking to that dumb story. Now, this is a big major key today. They showed the body photos of the dismembered remains in the trunk and around it. Guys, I got to tell you, the family did not back down to this. So it makes me wonder how they didn't move forward when Celeste was in life. Why didn't they just rush in there and do something? I just don't know what happened. Celeste's finger amputated with David's name. Guys, that's most of the information that's coming out today. It's that type of evidence. Graphic photos of Celeste, body cam footage from the welfare check, plane tickets, an unopened Amazon box with a mini crematorium, 2 chainsaws. I hear there's a third chainsaw, inflatable pool with dismemberment pieces, and 2 body bags, garbage bags containing limbs found beneath the main body, missing fingers, amputated with his name. They still haven't found it. Text messages, phone records, surveillance footages, detective testimony, deputy testimony, prosecutor's narrative, and a prosecution brief outlining the alleged timeline from Uber to David's home, and then the stabbing and dismemberment all the way until her body made it inside the Tesla. They're also going to show a ton of evidence regarding their sexual relationship that began when Celeste was only 13. Guys, I don't know what the defense is thinking. I know, but if that happens, we won't be able to hear about any of it, guys. That's the problem. We will know nothing probably because they'll probably put a gag order. All right, let's go into this because I want to get with the technicalities of it, and then we're going to get into breaking down what you think about it. But let's listen to hear how this is going and then what. Guys, hit that like button. I see a lot of people in here in black. Buckle up. We got a show today.
And celebrity is unfolding in a downtown LA courtroom. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm Annabelle Sedano. Singer David Burke is charged in the death of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez. The preliminary hearing is underway right now to determine if he will stand trial for this murder. We have team coverage and a legal analysis. Let's begin with NBC4's Brittany Hope. She's outside the courthouse. Brittany, so this started a couple of hours ago. What has happened so far?
Hi, Annabelle. It's been a really disturbing morning inside that courtroom. NBC4 Investigates Eric Leonard is inside right now, and he tells us that Celeste's parents are sitting in the front row, and they're sitting in that front row as evidence is begun to be shown. Now, that includes incredibly graphic photos of Celeste's body, dismembered, decaying, covered in flies.
I'm going to give you the parents' reaction, but you hear that, covered in flies, maggots. Guys, trigger warning, because they're going to go piece by piece. I am looking forward to the trial unless, of course, he comes up with a plea. That's what I'm saying. Just like the Madeline Soto case, he might see the evidence that's coming out about him being a pedo, as well as the things that he did, secret things that he did to Celeste that he didn't want anyone knowing about. That's all coming out, folks. And it just makes me wonder how he's going to handle it. And then where he's going after this. Don't think that I'm not thinking about where he's going to spend the rest of his life. All right. So, yeah, let's cap this, and then we're going to see what the family has to say, what the witnesses are saying, and all the other details.
And maggots when it was discovered in a Hollywood tow yard. The prosecutors right now continuing to lay out the evidence that they have in this case against David. District Attorney Nathan Hochman is inside the courtroom listening to the proceedings. We saw him walk into the courthouse earlier this morning. He has called this case a parent's nightmare. Also inside the courtroom are members of the public who entered a lottery system to try to get a seat inside.
Yeah, guys, they had 10 people that can get tickets, and you guys, the people that got in, kudos to you. And he is actually, they are releasing. Yeah, he's definitely going to make art. I don't know why it does that, guys. Hold on. He's definitely, in my opinion, going to make a shit ton more songs. He's going to be writing it like crazy, but I bet not until after they're done with the trial, because it could be incriminating. He obviously uses his own life to narrate even his crimes, right? All right. This is just, but they have been releasing, they have absolutely been releasing music through different names.
One man tells me he came today as a concerned citizen.
I'm born and raised in Hollywood, so I'm a Hollywood native. I've been coming for like the last maybe 3 hearings. I came today because I want justice for Celeste. I want to see what's going on firsthand. I don't want to hear rumors or other people's opinions. I want to see for myself what's going on out here in my home, you know?
So cameras are not allowed inside the courtroom today. The prosecution this morning also showed body camera footage from a welfare check done at David's home in February 2024 when authorities were looking for Celeste, who had been reported missing. You see in that video, David tell deputies she told him she was 18 years old.
Now, guys, he's going to be eating his words and his messages and his video and everything that has been captured. He is going to be eating it. All right, he's going to shove that, and they're going to shove it in his face. But look at that. Look at the charges. The murder with special allegations, continuous sexual abuse, and mutilating remains. Guys, all the things that we're talking about right here are basically a summary of everything that came out today, including that ticket that he bought for Celeste that now could be considered trafficking. You can't take a minor you can't take them into other states, and you certainly can't traffic them out of the country. You saw him there. Nice guy. All right. Oh, you saw that guy there? That's awesome.
Although she was only 13 years old.
Hey, Kalisa.
Ahead of this hearing today, David's legal team had asked the judge if he would be able to be unshackled for the proceedings. The judge decided that he can have his hands free, but he is still shackled by the waist and under the table at his feet. Again, NBC4 Investigates Eric Leonard is inside. We will have coverage on this all day here on air.
Now, I don't hear what they say, but David didn't want to look like a monster. He wanted to play it off as I'm this little artist boy, and I'm a star. I'm a rising star. I didn't do anything. I'm glad that they make him have handcuffs and shackles.
Horrific it is. How much of the evidence will they have to show, and is there a benefit to holding some of it?
Well, there is a benefit to holding back in the sense that the district attorney knows this is just a preliminary hearing, a mini trial, an overview. The only question for the judge, there's no jury, and the question for the judge is there probable cause that Burke committed this murder? Meaning, would a reasonable person suspect that he's guilty, which is far from the trial standard, which is guilt beyond a reasonable doubt.
So slow.
You know, so Royal, his lawyer had asked the judge for an order to unshackle him for the proceedings, and we just heard Brittany say that didn't happen. So let's talk about the psychology behind that. I mean, there aren't any jurors in there, and of course, no cameras are allowed.
Well, that's right. The district attorney's strategy, I think, is to start sending a message to the world, the community, including prospective jurors. We got our man. This guy is so dangerous. He's in a jail jumpsuit. He can't leave his chair.
Now, guys, this is the way prosecution is painting him, and rightfully so. David's an absolute monster on the inside. He's a small little manlet that you can put in your pocket and make him do a backflip on command. But he just is a monster on the inside. What he did to Celeste Rivas Hernandez is unspeakable, unbelievable, and just evil. All right, I'm going to show you that right after Celeste family stares down the gruesome evidence in court. The prosecution judge says, look away. You're not going to want to see this. And they don't. All right. Again, it's going to be a rough episode if you are triggered by those kind of things. And he could get the death penalty. Oh, yeah. We just talked about that right at the beginning of this from Nathan Hochman. But yes, guys, do me a favor, hit the like button, drop some comments. There's a bunch of people that aren't in the green, and I'm about to give some memberships this episode. I'm feeling generous. It's my birthday month, and I only have one more day with y'all, today and tomorrow, and then I won't be back until next week, y'all. It's birthday party stuff. Absolutely, he groomed her. Hey, Deb, good to see you, my friend. Always a pleasure. And it's hot in California, by the way, guys. I took a picture of the heat in my car. It was 103. It went up to 104 on my way home. Actually, on my way to get a haircut. You guys like the haircut? I didn't get a chance to comb it, though.
And in that sense, the district attorney is showing that he's being aggressive now. You know, there is no necessity for all of this gruesome, grisly evidence to be presented at this point. The judge is almost certainly going to agree with the DA that the matter should go to trial. The fact the DA is being aggressive and rolling out this evidence, I think, means that the district attorney just wants to send a message. We're extremely serious about this case. We have the goods on this person. Of course, the defense position is just because a body is in somebody's car doesn't mean that owner of the car did it. Where's the DNA? Where's the eyewitness testimony? Where are the fingerprints? So you're seeing the battle lines drawn in this mini trial.
Royal, so the murder charge, I want to talk about that. It carries special allegations. What role do they carry in the prosecution?
Well, that can turn this from a murder.
All right, I want you guys to listen up closely. I know I'm messing around with y'all and doing this and posting stuff, but I really want you to hear what they have to say in these last 2 minutes. It really tells you all the questions that you have about court. That's what we're going over right now, whether it's going to be the death penalty, whether it can be the death penalty, and what they talked about and evidence they showed. That way, in the second half, I'm already thinking in my head, where's David going to go? And how many times is he going to be able to have to bend over with no lube? So I'm already thinking that. I'm already knowing whether he takes a deal or runs through this and gets life without the possibility of parole, guys. He's going to serve a lot of time. All right. And he doesn't like to be alone. So that's a punishment. All right, let's continue. I will gift more memberships throughout this episode. Again, happy birthday month. And I think we give away probably the most things on this channel. I go to other channels and I never get anything. All right, let's continue.
In the first degree case where he could be sent away for life to capital punishment. Now, as a practical matter, it's tough to get the death penalty in California, but the DA still may want to go for it. And there are special circumstances alleged here that could justify the death penalty. For example, did you murder a witness who was going to testify against you? Did you do it for financial gain? And this is intriguing. If you bump somebody off because they've got $1 million you want, that's for financial gain. What if Burke killed someone allegedly because he wanted to protect his income stream in the future? Because remember, allegedly, Celeste was arguing with him, saying, you're exclusive with me, or else I'll tell the world, and you're going to be in a heap of trouble. All of these arguments are going to be rolled out by the district attorney in this mini trial.
I'm going to ask you a question here, Royal, based on your expertise here and on everything that's been disclosed so far. Do you think the judge will agree to a trial?
Hell yeah.
I think you should get the deed to your house, go to Las Vegas, bet the house on the fact that they will be going to trial, because it is no matter of guilt or innocence at this point. It's just probable cause. And in fact, the defense may hold back some of their strong arguments because they know they're almost certainly going to lose at this stage. They may want to have an element of surprise when and if the matter goes to trial.
You know what I see happening is not putting on a defense. I see them not putting on a defense, letting all of the evidence land as it may, and then them close up shop. Because how do you save face? How do you save face from this, from what he is accused of doing? Yeah, bending down with no lube. All right? Never fails how funny. Justice for Celeste. Bend over with lube, without. Who's going to buy him lube? she was going to expose him in underage, but I gotta tell you, Nikki, it wouldn't have been that bad. Look at the Siders case. Look at the Siders case. Those monsters, the Saw family, he was dating her when she was 13 and then 15 when he was 18. Guys, it would have been a slap on the wrist. He would have got maybe some time, but taking her life in the way that he did is just absolutely disgusting and evil. Vivian, love this channel. No drama or pressure. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for being a sweetheart. All right, let's continue.
All right, Royal, as always, thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us.
All right, so now I wanted you to get the court feel of what's actually happening with this case, because right, that's what we're here for, is the facts. So I'm going to give you some insight to some of the things that happened in court today, and then David with no lube. All right, no, they have not talked about that yet, but I'm going to go over the stuff that we talk about, and yeah, hashtag no lube for David. All right. Hashtag bonnet bottom. Thank you. All right. I don't want to ignore you. No one streams practically every day. John, you are very good to your peeps. I belong to many other channels. No one streams practically every day, interacts with the community, and gives things. Wow. And gets haircuts once a week or every 2 weeks. Right? Add that to the top. I make sure I stay good for y'all. Hey, Rebecca. Good to see you, my friend. You guys, if you're not subbed up to Rebecca, please go sub up to her. And Can You Hear Me Now? She's been putting out a lot of content, and it's the justice for little Corey Michelow. All right. Hashtag no lube for David. I agree. And you'll think so even more. So this morning, this comes out, right? Today is July 21st, 2026. And this is the article. It says her family stares down the gruesome evidence. All right. And this is not just a headline. The family was warned to put their heads down as the gruesome photos of the teens' remains were shown in court. But they refused to look away, guys. All right. The prosecutor, Beth Silverman, said the family gave a family a heads up during the first day of the preliminary hearing. But before displaying the images of Celeste's severed arms and legs inside of the front of the trunk in his Tesla, an investigator testified that her limbs were found in a black cadaver bag, and another bag contained Celeste's head and torso. Now, guys, I don't know how that was presented. I'm imagining it was presented in the bags and then out of the bags, but the investigator also describes maggots, flies, and unidentified liquid inside the vehicle. Remember, she was liquefied. A lot of things were liquefied at that point. Her eye was missing, fingers missing. Guys, this is disturbing. And again, I've showed you her family. There's her family. They're at court. I'm glad they're there. You'll see the picture of them in a second. That's her mom and her dad. They were in court today. All right. So at one point, Silverman appeared to mouth, "Are you okay?" towards the family, who continued watching as the photo showed her finger tattoo. Guys, 2 amputated fingers and the blue plastic fragments embedded in her severed body. That's what they showed today. All right. They showed the head, the torso, the legs, the severed parts, the parts that I'm sure they talked about what wasn't there. All right. Now, people in the courtroom audibly sighed as the evidence was displayed. David also looked at the photos, guys, and I heard that he had a pretty good stare down with what was going on. He was very present. All right. So that's her family. That is Celeste Rivas Hernandez's mom and dad as they go back into the car. Celeste's parents, Jesus Rivas and Mercedes Martinez, they were holding hands as they arrived at the downtown LA courthouse this morning. All right. As TMZ reported, David asked the judge to let him ditch the handcuffs during the hearing, and he got at least part of his wish, appearing without the cuffs on his wrists, though he remained shackled on his waist. All right. He is a monster. Look at the difference between him here in this mugshot and any other picture that you see him in, right? It's like the evil came out. You can see from the inside out now who David is. Prosecutors allege his real name, David Anthony Burke, killed 14-year-old Celeste inside his Hollywood home in April of 2025. He then dismembered her and hid her remains in his Tesla. I wouldn't call them hidden, but her body was discovered months later after the car was towed to Hollywood impound. All right, David has pled not guilty to the first-degree continuous CSAM under 14 and unlawful mutilation of human remains. The judge will ultimately decide whether there's enough evidence to send him to trial. You guys know the trial's going down, right? I hope you realize that. All right, let's continue. What else do I have for you? Oh yeah, let's take a look at one of the witness on the stand. Yeah, some of these things we got to go over a little bit further. Don't forget, I am going to recap everything that I went over quickly, including the physical evidence, digital evidence, testimony from today, and the evidence of their relationship. Guys, it's all out there now. It's all out there. So let's see what happens. Let's go. First witness takes the stand, giving disturbing testimony. Trigger warning, guys.
Against David for Celeste Rivas Hernandez, and the first witnesses have taken the stand. First witness was an LAPD sheriff that went to David's home the very first time that Celeste went missing in February of 2024. This deputy testified that David told him this day that he met Celeste in 2020 or 2021 on Facebook and Discord messaging chats. Yes. He went on to say that David told him he only met Celeste in person once, and that he thought that she was 18 because she told him she was 18. And there was also body cam video footage that was shown in court of these deputies approaching David's home to ask him about a missing Celeste Rivas Hernandez. This whole body cam video footage is 10 minutes and 30 seconds long, and it appears that David knew that LA was coming to question him because he was in contact with Riverside about Celeste being a missing person. This deputy then went on to testify that David told him the last time that he had saw Celeste during this encounter was November 12th of 2023.
Guys, I don't think that he thought anyone was going to document any of this, because these outright lies that the prosecution has him as saying are completely the opposite of what the physical evidence shows. This is not a circumstantial case by any means, right? They have a body, they have DNA evidence, they have forensic DNA evidence, they have so many witnesses, guys. Foxy can stream from the courthouse, except for it's probably 100 degrees outside. We'll let Flojo do that. Shout out to Flojo. I think he's over there right now. Golden Hen, happy early birthday, Jay. Thank you, my friend. Much love to you towards our goal. I know, I saw that they have a whole document on the tickets of people getting in, and 10 people only. Brian Enton has been on News Nation reporting, and I have that. I just summarized it so I can tell you what it is. But we're going to go through that. We're going to go through the updates inside court. Let's go back.
Last time that he had talked to her was February 13th of 2024. Then David proceeded to show the deputies the yearbook photo of Celeste, but also her missing person poster. In the yearbook photo, Celeste appears to be very young, like maybe around 11 years old, and she's wearing a Batman hoodie. Deputies then had David's consent to search his home, and they list that they found Hello Kitty items that could also be seen in the body cam video footage.
Now, mind you, after he killed Celeste Rivas Hernandez, he was on video doing live streams and interviews, and in one of them, he got caught with her purse in the background. So it not even caught, it was in plain sight. You see the purse that she's holding up in front of her head? That same purse, after just hours after he took her life so gruesomely, was in the video. Guys, these people aren't dumb. I think he thinks he's smarter than everyone. All right? To all of us girl moms, this is our worst fear. I agree. Summer of 88. David's a sicko, and whoever knew and helped him is just as sick. Well, guess what? I think that they're the people that did are going to be held accountable, probably on the stand, but I don't think any of them are being charged with anything. And that's going to be Neo and Asia as the very front people that were there time and time again in those videos. They claim they didn't know her, but there's so many videos of them with her in the same damn room doing drugs with her. I'll show you right after this.
When the deputies asked David about those Hello Kitty items, he said this was because this was a artist's house, so these were other people that were coming to stream in the house. David went on to tell deputies that she said that she was 18, but everyone keeps saying she's only 13. For this witness, during cross-examination, David's lawyers were basically saying that David admitted that Celeste said that she was 18 years old, so basically trying to argue that David didn't know her real age. And then for redirect, prosecutors asked this witness if David ever admitted to having a physical relationship with Celeste or even helping her run away from home. And the reason for this being because they had claimed on David's defense that he was cooperative, and it doesn't seem like he was. The second witness that testifies is the LA Robbery Homicide Division deputy that was sent to the tow yard the day that it was reported that there was a foul smell coming from the front of David's Tesla. This officer was present when they found Celeste in this body bag in the front of the Tesla and basically testified about how he found her. And they also showed everybody in the courtroom the photos of Celeste Rivas Hernandez. Now, it's very graphic, so I cannot go into full detail, but he then testified about how these limbs appeared because she wasn't intact. Testified in her limbs were the blue fragments that prosecutors said they were able to match back to the pool that was found in David's home that he also allegedly ordered offline. It is being reported that during all of these photos being shown that David didn't even appear to look away. He appeared to be staring right at all of the evidence, just like pretty much everybody else, even though a lot of people were having a hard time because it was very graphic. This deputy went on to testify that Celeste's left ring and left pinky finger were amputated, and that they had never been recovered, so they do not know where these two fingers are. And it's something that we talked about because she did have the tattoo named David on one of those fingers. And the deputy did say he was not able to figure out who she was because how bad her face was decomposed. That's all the information we got right now from the first break. So after they take a lunch break, I'm sure we'll figure out more information, but they are starting this off like a timeline, like they said they were going to. But y'all let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments.
In the comments. All right, there's so much today. I'm trying to piece it all together for you guys. All right, that's what I'm doing now because they came out and they did like a morning recap, and then after that they came back and did one after lunch, and then at the end of the day. So let's continue. I want you to see this. David's bestie and the people that surrounded him. Disturbing video resurfaces. I think this is a video of the pictures I was looking for. I saw pictures earlier on X where Celeste looked like she was taking the picture and they had drugs on the table and all of them were there. Let's look at this. And if it has it, then I don't need to pull up the pictures. If not, I will.
Ex-best friend Asia just came out last week to denounce David after getting kicked out of an influencer party just for some old videos to resurface that are very controversial. And girl, I got some questions for you. And I know y'all have been waiting for me to talk about this. I've seen all the tags, and the way that Asia talks in this video, I do think it's joking, but it's absolutely disgusting. She's literally talking about getting with minors, and when they snitch to, the same exact thing that David is being accused of. And you know me, I like to dig. So after I was getting tagged, I went and I actually found the full video of this stream where she is saying these things. And this was uploaded on July 15th of 2025. So Celeste was already gone, but this is right before she's found in David's Tesla.
Hold on real quick. I've got something running in the background and I couldn't stop it. Okay, here we go.
I'm just hoping, like, we're at an arcade. I hope I don't get a minor's number, bro. Like, no. You gotta ask the age first. No, you never ask the age. You always just gotta, you gamble. We gotta gamble later.
I mean, do you see they did not take that so seriously? And not just that, guys, but I don't think anyone could have imagined what David was going to ultimately do with Celeste, but they're laughing and joking about it. They're going to have to get on the stand and testify to this. They're going to say, hey, do you remember this video? What were you saying there? Did you know? They're going to ask a lot of questions. All right. You wait till you see the pictures of the compromising pictures that they have, and they can't deny it. It's them. What are they going to say? All right.
After you hook up with them. Yeah. You gotta gamble your life. No, it's not gambling nothing, If it's this, it's this, bro. It's this. I'm kind of private. see whose number I'm gonna get. Like who's gonna be down for me. I can't. No, bro, stop, bro. I'm not talking to minors today. Today. No. Wait, how old are you? 22. On a good day. What about a bad day? Feel it? No! Shit. I'm gonna have to ask a child out. What the?
Really trying to understand, as someone that was just on the internet literally a week ago claiming how it was horrible that David was with a minor and you wanted to stand for this, and you went right to David and you were like, you better not be with a 13-year-old. Show me proof. You think it's okay to joke like this? Actually hear her talking like this, it's disgusting, it's ridiculous, it's ignorant. Like, there's nothing even funny about this. Like, so I don't understand why she thinks that was okay. Already had my thoughts on Asia since the beginning of this.
Yeah, these people were the ones that could have said, hey, bro, listen, David, like, you're about to do a giant show. You're going to do, you got good things coming, bro. Why? What are you doing with this little girl? They could have definitely stopped that. But I agree, Liv Wade. They all seem like a bunch of weird, sick. Let me not get too crazy. Mab, good to see you, my friend. I can't wait for Turtle Island next week. And I just want you to know, it's all fun and games, my guy. I'm not a sore loser, but it was fun doing that last night. Mab kicked me and I kicked poor Mrs. Mab. Thank you, Cubic Z Painter. You gave me the immunity. Thank you. Shout out to Cubic Z Painter who gave me the immunity for Turtle Island last night. Sadie's mama, here you go. A birthday Red Bull on me. Wish it was more. My electric bill is atrocious this month. Guys, please don't. If you don't give me anything and then apologize for giving me something, guys. Love you, Sadie's mama. And yeah, don't, I appreciate if you gave me a penny, I appreciate it. Love you, Sadie's mama. All right. Thank you. All right. Cheers. All right, let's continue. Yes, thank you.
Said this when I covered her video last week. Like, Asia has been all over the place since the beginning of this. First, she kept saying that she didn't even know Celeste when we all saw the email that she got of Celeste's missing poster. But it took her getting kicked out of a streamer party to finally come out and say something.
All about her.
Kidding. It was a long video, and half of it was like, feel sorry for me, feel sorry for me. Like I said, even though I didn't agree with that, I do think that now Asia will be a crucial piece in the trial that makes it there with David because of what she knows. When she said she has been talking to investigators, I do believe that. I think that if they went after some of David's friends like Neo, they definitely went after Asia, because you guys can't forget, Asia was also there right before David's tour ended, and he canceled it when Celeste was found in ID. Can recognize how important something like that is, but at the same time, I am not somebody to stick up for ignorant behavior. At this point, girl, you're so dense. And my only hope out of all of this is that if Asia is asked to testify, she actually follows through with it. I hope she doesn't get scared off, and I hope she actually stands up for Celeste Rivas Hernandez like she said she's going to. Y'all let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments.
She's not standing up for anything but herself, my friends. All right. 1,000 gems guitar. What's up, y'all? Well, you see what's coming up now. Now you know what's up. All right, let's I'm gonna show you these pictures. I cannot freaking find them for some reason back on X, but let me share my screen real quick. I've showed these before, but it's very relevant today, right? Now that the preliminary hearing is going on and we're hearing the graphic detail, we obviously can't see it, but look at some of these pictures here. I mean, you could see that this picture here, it says it matches with the dates and her phone. Most likely, Celeste is taking this photo and it's on her phone. Guys, this is her. If it's her, allegedly, you see the drugs down there. They got some lines cut up down there, whether it's pills, whether it's whatever they're drinking. Look at that. You see that? And we're going to show even further. So they got the little backpack and there it is. David taking a photo, and it's from this side. Again, they can place her there. There's a hand and a drink that they say is Celeste. And then you can see it even closer. Look at that. All right. Hold on real quick. 1 second. Let me put this for a second. Recap of day one. Baby Guilty needs me for a second. I don't know why, but I can't read and do this at the same time. So here we
Here's
go.
part 2 of my recap of David's day 1 preliminary hearing. We're finding out that body cam footage was played today from February 17th, 2024, when Celeste Rivas was first reported missing, where an officer named Juan went to David's residence and asked him where Celeste was. David apparently was not really answering his questions when it comes to where Celeste was. He kind of was saying some incriminating things about how he has alcohol in his fridge, definitely probably oversharing because of nerves. But then he ends up showing the officer photos from Celeste's yearbook where he's saying, look, she went to school, she graduated. And the officer at one point says, yeah, this looks like.
So this is a recap of the entire day. Sorry about that. Baby Guilty wants some crumble cookies. And she needs my phone and my credit card, right? Okay, so now we're good. So I don't have my phone mods. If you guys need something, you're going to have to drop it in comments to get my attention to go to email, because I do not have my phone and it's being held hostage until the crumble cookies get here. All right, guys? All right, let's continue. This is the recap of today and what went down.
Someone who is still in school. These look like current photos. At that point, David ends up telling Officer Juan that Celeste told him that she was 18 years old, and he believed her, which I think is 100% a lie given everything that we know now, and especially given the fact that he was telling his friends that Celeste was 19. Is she 18? Is she 19? Where is she getting these fake IDs? It had to have been through him somehow. And let's play devil's advocate for a second. Had Celeste told David that she was actually 18, at this point, February.
Now, guys, we can play devil's advocate all we want. We know for a fact with the documentation that Celeste and David both were in the same understanding of her being underage, okay? That's absolutely ridiculous to even put that on as a defense. What's even more ridiculous is how he just continues to lie through his teeth about this when the evidence is all there, all right? Absolutely ridiculous. Okay.
17th, 2024, David knew for a fact that Celeste was only 13, and still he continued to pursue a relationship with.
And this is what I wanted to say. So many people hop in here and say, Jay, how the hell did he traffic her? How did he get her out of the country? How did he get her out of the state? Well, guess what, guys? These people usually charter a private jet or some kind of private plane that they rent. And guys, all it takes is a fake passport, and they don't care who's in the jet or the plane. You come in with money and you show them a fake passport, they don't give a shit. Okay, go. You can go now. They know for a fact that she had a passport and an ID that we haven't heard that her name was on there yet, but we know they found it. We know they found it when he went down to Santa Barbara and threw the stuff out. All right. And Brighton, good to see you. Y'all need to be in green. Look at that. I know. Crumble. Baby Guilty gonna order DoorDash and Grubhub and Uber Eats. Luckily I don't have a bunch of money on my Cash App, so she can only go so far.
A detective by the name of Josh ended up taking the stand and testifying after he shared basically things that we already knew. September 3rd, 2025, the car was towed and brought to an impound lot. When the body was found inside of the Tesla, there were maggots, bugs, and plastic pieces from the trash bag on the body. The head was detached, face down in one bag. The arms and the legs were separated in another bag.
I mean, this is what they looked at. So what he's doing here is reading what the evidence was. I know the family had to see that, ma'am, and all the people that. Oh, actually, there's no jury yet. This is not a jury. This is a preliminary hearing. So anybody that was in the court, and yeah, basically that's it. Anybody and everybody that was in the court had to see these unless they looked away. Yeah, you do crumble once a week. I do crumble like every 6 months. They all taste the same. It just tastes like a big old sugar lump of whatever flavor it is.
The limbs seem to have been cut around the knees, and on the knees you could actually see bits of plastic pieces from the chainsaw that David used to dismember her. And keep in mind, Celeste's family is in the courtroom seeing these photos and hearing this information. Detective Josh went on to say that on September 10th, 2025, so a couple of days after it came out that a deceased female who was unknown at the time was found in David's frunk, Celeste's father actually called into authorities saying that he had a feeling that the body in David's frunk was his daughter Celeste. And from from there, that's how they were able to identify the remains through dental records. It's possible that if Celeste's father did not call authorities when he did, we would not have had Celeste's identity discovered as quickly as we did. And even back in September of 2025, it didn't really seem that quick. It was a few days, maybe a week, a little over, but it was definitely much quicker than it would have been had her family not contacted authorities to say, hey, this may be Celeste. Now, after finding out that the remains were Celeste, that the remains were in David's Tesla, they wanted to figure out when the Tesla was actually left, where it was ultimately left, and by whom. Through neighborhood surveillance footage, they were able to figure out that the Tesla was left where it was ultimately towed away from, with Celeste's body in it, on July 29th, 2025. So from there, authorities were trying to figure out who was driving that vehicle on that particular day and the vehicle's path of travel on that particular day. It seems like they were able to figure out that the vehicle traveled to a Ross Dress for Less, and that's where surveillance footage was obtained, which shows David driving this vehicle by himself alone. He then ended up driving to Culver City before driving back to the area of his Hollywood Hills rental property, and that's where he parked the vehicle, where it was ultimately abandoned. And authorities were able to figure out that David was the sole driver of this vehicle, as the vehicle was connected to not only his Gmail, but to his phone that he named Tranquilizer. Authorities say that they collected 6 to 8 terabytes of data from that email and from his phone, which were all connected to the Tesla by way of Bluetooth. Nobody else's phone or email connected to this car, meaning he was the only one who drove it. Authorities were also able to figure out through that email that David was using fake aliases to order things on Amazon. He was using names like Victoria Menendez as well as Trayvon Davis. Like, is this guy stupid? Not only did you leave a body inside your own vehicle, but you also thought that purchasing things to dispose of and dismember this body was not going to be tied back to you because you're using a
I really can't comprehend the evidence that he left out there. And yeah, I have the description of this, and as I was reading, I'm like, oh boy, am I gonna read this? It just depends how it kind of depends on how the episode goes, if I can read or talk. And when I'm reading this, I'm reading it from X. I've been watching this stuff all day. And the updates, Lauren Conlon's got an update. Everybody does, and it's in writing. And in the very beginning, there was no videos. There's a bunch of writing, and I start reading this about the head and the kneecaps and the piece missing. I'm like, how could they sit there and do that? How could he even sit there in all seriousness with the information that's coming out and continue to try to defend this case? Trigger warning is all I can say, because that's all I see in this case. There's going to be a lot of CSAM referenced, abuse, grooming, drug usage, etc., guys.
fake ship-to name. And before, we were under the impression that David only left Celeste in the vehicle because he was rushing to get ready for tour, but that's not really the case. If he was going to Ross Dress for Less and driving all around and still had her body in there, it just seems like he wanted to come back to her body still in the vehicle, like he wanted to keep her for some reason. I'll continue to keep you guys updated as more information.
All right, and I put these guys because they go out there, their boots on the ground, come back, and they do a quick little recap while I get things ready. All right, so thank you all for being here. Monotone is cool with me. I'm not monotone. Evil, I agree. As a parent, I couldn't, right? All right, so look, check this out. Before we move on to where is he going to be? Does anyone feel like they haven't been caught up in this case yet to where you missed something? Because let me do this real quick. Let me show you the evidence so we can move forward with where he's going next. All right. Okay, so this is the graphic one. This was the one, guys, that gave us a recap, and it talks about the her posting a video. She'll report it later, but this was the description of David appearing in court without handcuffs but remaining restrained. Right? Let me just take it real quick. Throughout the proceedings, he appeared calm and relaxed. Many people said that he was sitting back in his chair just staring. As the prosecutors displayed the graphic crime scene, he kept his eyes fixed on the courtroom monitors and didn't appear to look away. Very striking, very evil. All right. Hockman is sitting in the second row, probably staring right through him. Guys, the district attorney and the prosecution, they knew about that. I mean, right when it broke, they had already had a case. This case was of a missing girl, which was Celeste Rivas Hernandez. So they had a witness go missing. They knew. They just needed to get the evidence put out and be careful because David has money for defense. So we went over the first witness. I showed you that. The second state witness was the LAPD robbery homicide detective Josh Byers. He responded to the Hollywood tow on September 8th, 2025. That was after the employees reported a strong odor coming from the Tesla. All right. And Detective Josh Byers testified investigators obtained a search warrant after the tow yard employees reported the odor. All right. Inside the Tesla's front trunk. I'm not going to say frunk. They discovered a partially unzipped bag containing dismembered human remains. Now, Lauren was there, and she says, I had a hard time looking at the photographs and exhibits shown in the court today, as did several other reporters. David, however, never appeared to look away. He kept his eyes fixed on the screen for the entire presentation. He got to relive it, right? So the graphic photos that were shown were from the inside of the Tesla's front trunk, depicting the body bag with severed limbs, arms, and legs. Guys, it was covered in blood, and I can't even imagine how that looks. Dried blood would be like what, black already looking? I have no idea. I don't want to know. I haven't seen a crime scene like that. Insects activity, decomposing, different insects. Now the bags and the body parts were wet and bloody. We saw the bag closed inside of the stupid frunk and then opened on the ground. So like I was telling you earlier, they got to see photos from the bags, from the inside, and whatever the Tesla captured, and they had to bring them out and spread them out, right, and measure them so they could see, oh, there's 6 inches of her leg that's missing. We didn't find that, and there's her finger, and there. Detectives testified that the remains also included the torso and head and severed extremities. Now, she says we saw another bloody photo of the head and torso. I believe I saw some black curly hair. He also noted blue plastic fiber or fragments embedded in the cut surfaces of some of the limbs, including near a kneecap. Ah, man, I wonder what he did with the rest of those parts. Detective Byers further testified that the victim's left ring finger and pinky finger had been amputated, along with the right index finger. All right. And due to advanced decomposition, he said he couldn't identify the victim's face because of the skin slippage. All right. So he took her fingers that said David. I don't know what he did with him though. Now, the first state witness, guys, the prosecution's first witness was Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputy, and that was Juan Gonzalez. He testified that he responded to David Burke's home on February 17th of 2024. Now, he did that to conduct a welfare check alongside county investigators reported that 13-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez was missing. And this is the first time that law enforcement and David meet. Deputy Juan Gonzalez testified that David told him he met Celeste through social media and Discord back in 2020 or 2021. He said he only met with her once, and he believed she was 18 years old because she told him she was 18. Now, Deputy Gonzalez also testified that Burke told investigators the last time he spoke with Celeste was back on February 13th, a day before Valentine's Day on 2024. All right. The last time he saw her, he said, was November 12th of 2023. That's a huge lie. Burke also showed deputies a 6th grade yearbook picture of Celeste and a missing person flyer during that welfare check. So that's where she goes witness turned victim. Celeste looked about 11 years old in that yearbook photo, guys. You remember that? The one with the Batman, and it looks like her face was scratched out. Deputies searched David's Doheny, I don't know how to say that, drive home, Doheny, with his consent while looking for Celeste. Gonzalez testified that he noticed some of the Hello Kitty items, but said David was explained it as an artist house. We heard that a little bit earlier. And then the body cam footage, I want that. Did we see body cam footage? Does anyone know where the body cam footage is? Shown in court, captured Burke telling the deputies, she told me she's 18, but everyone is saying she's 13, while providing Celeste's phone number and discussing how they met. Now, during cross-examination, guys, Burke's attorney, Regina Peter, emphasized that Burke was cooperative, voluntarily provided Celeste's information, and repeatedly stated he believed she was 18 years old. On redirect, prosecutors asked whether Burke ever told deputies he had been in a sexual relationship with Celeste or helped her leave home, as this defense was insinuating he had been cooperative with officers and he told the truth. The defense attorneys objected before the questions were answered, and the judge sustained the objection. All right. I think we should be caught up at the end of this. I'm going to go into give you all of the details for today. Physical evidence, digital testimonies, and relationship. I'm going to give you all of that. But first, we're going to talk about where David's going next and how he's going to like that. Hopefully he doesn't like it at all, guys. So justice for Celeste Rivas Hernandez, and thank you to Trapmore Ross. I love this guy, Trapmore Ross.
So David has been in jail for quite some time now. He's facing some pretty serious hearings in the next few days. And in this video, I want to do a little breakdown on some of the horrific jailhouse conditions that he's currently facing and why he is basically set for a lifetime of suffering. So this post has been going around Reddit the past few days. David's conditions. It said that he's being held in a segregated single cell. It says that he is being escorted from his cell to his shower, which he's only allowed every other day. And it says he's only allowed to make phone calls on the days that he can shower. He only gets 3 hours of rec time with fresh air per week. He has no contact with other inmates during recreation. He has no access to a TV. He can't have any visitors at this time, and reportedly has no money on his books right now either. Okay. And I've got a whole bunch of backstory.
This is great. And this just came out, but let me do this. Brian Enton had several recaps, my friend, my OG friend, several recaps. But here's the last one from the day, which is probably going to echo what I just said, but I'll put it on.
Give you another update from what's been going on inside the David preliminary hearing. He's, of course, accused of killing Celeste Rivas Hernandez. It's just kind of like unbearably sad in there. All of the details, the photos are horrific. When I was waiting to go back inside, Celeste's mom and dad were in the hallway, just kind of standing there alone together. Just you could kind of just feel the sadness coming off them. They were just standing by the bathroom, and just kind of hit me like everything they must be going through. But there was a detective on the stand just now, talked about all the purchases that that David made allegedly from Amazon, Birdcage, 2 body bags, which I didn't even know you can buy body bags on Amazon. He was using an alias Travion Davis, they say, an inflatable pool, which we knew about, chainsaws that he bought. They went over like in detail all the different kinds of chainsaws, the blue inflatable pool, a shovel. These items were bought off Uber Postmates. A shovel, a Lowe's mop and bucket, a fireproof mat was purchased, which the detective said they were never able to find, the fireproof mat.
And this is where we start to find out more evidence in this case, which again, I'm going to drop it at the end of it. This is much better than Law and Crime. They sure do play devil's advocate, right? Well, welcome in, Bella. Good to see you. It's a lot more than Celeste has now. He is the Sharilla. He will thrive in there. Hey, Janet. Good to see you. Guys, I am going to gift another membership here when we get to back to our video. Yeah, so make sure you hit the like button. Here you go. Brian Enton. I've been following him and Lauren Conlon all day long while I work. Whistle while you work.
And just now, they talked about, again, you know, her being cut apart, essentially. I hate to even say that, dismembered. That there were 2 different bags that they found her in, one with the head and bones, second bag with limbs. They were in the Tesla in the front trunk. Right now, though, there's people associated with David's business who have been on the stand, which is interesting, talking a lot about the finances, how he had got about $3 million in a publishing account, $1 million in a merchandising company, a lot of money involved. And they're trying to figure out communication that these financial people were having with his family members after the police investigation began, which is kind of interesting, which I'm going to dig into later. But that's the latest. Again, it's just a terrible case. There's no cameras allowed. There's no live transmitting allowed, no live tweeting. So this is really the only way to relay information to you guys. But I'll keep you guys posted, and I'll do like a big deep dive video later. Hey, guys, I wanted to give you an...
So there's Brian Enton. That was his last day thoughts. Flojo's down there. I saw you this morning, buddy. Did you get in? And thank you. Thank you for the $4.99. Man, this is great. Normally, I don't get this amount of information on the first day that something comes out. But I think because these people that are attending have to be in person writing notes and doing updates, filming updates constantly. So yay for people like Flojo. All right, you got in? Oh, you were just on down the or what is it, rabbit hole, something like that. I can't remember. All right, let's talk about this, guys. He's in a segregated cell. He only gets 3 hours of recreation with the fresh air 3 hours per week. And guys, you know he hates being alone. He's going to be alone for a long time. Poor Celeste. I wonder how Celeste was feeling as he stabbed her and she bled out. It took a long time for her to actually die. All right. And when I say a long time, it wasn't a quick death. And I wonder if, I'm sure they're going to testify against that, right? How her death went, etc. The medical examiner, maybe, or whoever comes on with the forensic evidence. Right.
About what actually he will be dealing with whilst he is in jail, how this jail works. I'm going to break it all down to you in this video, but before we do that, let's see how people are responding to David's squalid conditions in that jail. It says, bro's been doing a lot of thinking. Some people saying those are normal lockdown conditions. I've been in AdSeg before.
Oh yeah, I'm about to drop another membership. All right, so on Cloud 999, Jay Spicy again tonight. I'm always spicy. What you mean? I'm in a good mood, but you know, you guys like my shit talking, right? All right, let's get back to it. I'm gonna gift a membership
and everything
right now.
Listed is standard protocol. It couldn't happen to a more deserving person than David Dickhead. I don't agree with the no money on his books though, because he's got weirdos that send him money, and I'm sure whoever's handling his finances is sending him money as well. If he's only in segregation for protection and not a disciplinary reason, he's able to have full access to the commissary unless he's on a restricted diet, food allergies, or religious reasons. And even then, he would be allowed to access and buy hygiene and some limited food items and clothing. I wish he had no access to the commissary, but I don't make the rules. He should suffer. That is a pretty savage breakdown, if I do say so myself. So people are pretty delighted, and they're saying, from what I've heard, S-offenders are loathed by the general prison.
What do you think about this, Flojo? You see that... what do you think about the just everything that's going on in this case, the evidence that coming? Do you think it's going to go to trial? Or do you think they're going to be scared and run and want to take a plea? These are some serious charges with some really bad aggravating factors, guys. This is not good. And I just gifted a membership. Guys, if you receive that membership, come out and say thank you. Come say happy birthday month. Hey, Edith, good to see you, my friend. Yup. She realized that David... I know, exactly. That was what she was thinking when she realized that David was killing her. Your shit talking is why we come back almost every night. Well, good. Come on back. Keep coming back, guys. And remember, from now on, if we got Steve's or Vincent's or any of the trolls, they got to pay to play. If they don't throw a super chat down, then they don't get to be put up on the screen. Just because I can. All right, let's continue.
Population. A lot of them are assaulted because the prisoners cannot stand the thought of predators. It's actually pretty refreshing, you know, where the justice system fails, the prisoners pick it up with great pride. Most of these guys have kids of their own too. Predators are the worst in the system. Only one shower every 2 days would end me. They're saying he looks greasy in every pic. I doubt he was showering before they even got him. Isn't there some correlation with psychopaths and not showering? I feel like I've read that somewhere. There's definitely some kind of diagnosis. People saying, oh no, anyway, he looks like he's aged 30 years in his mugshot. His mask is off. You can now see his true demonic face. So look, here's the process of arrival when he touched down at this jail, which some have described as the hardest jail in Los Angeles.
Now, this is a lot of times jail is much harder than when you go to prison, because when you're in prison, you're there for the length of time and you get your commissary and your different, you know, shoes and clothes and food. All right. Happy birthday. Hey, Inquisitive P. Thank you. Happy birthday month to anybody that it's your birthday. Let me know. All right. Late from Orlando. My birthday is on Saturday. We celebrate all month long, but I won't see you I won't see you guys Friday. I won't see you till next week. So happy birthday to your girl's 45th birthday tomorrow. That means your girl is a Cancer. I'm a Leo, guys. Don't get that twisted. I'm not even on this. I'm not even on the cusp. Yeah, we'll just say that.
This is what he's facing when he touched down. Look at this. And it couldn't have happened to a better person. So LA attorney Tiffany Blacknell would actually explain why David was wearing an orange jumpsuit rather than the blue one you saw there. Because when I went to Aunt Hefe's trial, not allowed to talk about Aunt Hefe. He was wearing a blue jumpsuit, and I did mention in my video that was different to David's. So apparently, here's the 411 on why David wears orange and shackles in county jail and what it's like where he is from a practicing LA County lawyer.
So some of you might be wondering why David is in orange rather than the traditional county blue. My name is Tiffany Blacknell. I've been a lawyer for 23 years in LA County in criminal law, and I have gone to the jail that David's in a million times, including just Thursday. Okay, so if you're a general population in county jail, you wear blue, like a darker blue. If you are gay, they sometimes put you in light blue. If you are a porter or someone who they give you responsibility outside the cell, like cleaning up or serving food.
Did she say if you're gay, you get a light blue? What is that? Now they're doing that. Yes, July's a good month. Happy birthday to all the people out there that have birthdays or kids have birthdays. Leos are badasses. I'll give you that. Badass women. Just saying. 27th right here. Jen Johnson, my Leo friend. Jail peddlers like David wear jumpsuits. Did you hear that? Yes. Hey, Shotgun Betty. Glad you're here. Definitely you should go back. We are going to I am going to give you the 1,000-foot view after this and tell you the physical, digital testimony and relationship evidence that came out in today's hearing. All right. I'm a Leo because I'm a day ahead. Light blue, dark blue, orange blue for color for everything. I didn't know we get color coordinating for being gay. If I knew that, just kidding. I don't want to go to jail.
You get to wear light green. If you are mentally ill and on medication, you get to wear yellow top, blue bottoms. If you are another medical situation, not mental, but like physical cancer, whatever, you wear brown, okay? If you are high power or notorious, you are a special handle, you are wearing orange top, orange bottoms. You're also wearing waist chains and leg irons, okay? Think Suge Knight. Whenever he would come into court, you would oftentimes see him in the orange. Now, ironically, in David's case, they're putting...
Is Trapmore down there right now, guys? Is this guy Trapmore Ross at the court? 17. Happy birthday to your daughter that's going to be 17 on July 27th. How is it raising a Leo? My mom she had to raise two of us. My brother's birthday is August 8th. Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't hear that. That's why I was like, is that a gang or did they give in light blue for the gang members? August 14th, you're a Leo too. Gang, not gay. Okay, well that I was like, hey, give me some rainbow scrubs. I'll wear them.
In a single man cell to protect him. He's notorious, right? That's why he's in orange. However, his neighbors are the most dangerous, right? Oddly enough, like although he's in a cell by himself, I heard it said by someone who's incarcerated that everyone on his row, he's in orange. Everyone on his row has been accused of murdering someone within the facility. Okay. We're talking about high power Mexican mafia. We're talking about people who have committed crimes in the jails or in prisons. People who have some shot calling power are the fellas in orange. So when you hear those change, ching, 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 you know you got a real one coming in court. Okay. Unless they're famous, which he is. Because a lot of the PDF file people who are accused are sent to Castaic, which is still LA County, but a different jail campus. And they put a lot of the folks who are charged with those charges in the same unit or a dorm where y'all all in the same boat. So ain't nobody tripping. But in David's case, he's both famous and that. So I guess for security reasons, they decided to put him in a single man cell. They also don't let them walk alone. Like sometimes officers.
Yeah, I mean, basically she's just talking about what goes on in that jail and the details of it. She's from TikTok. We're just playing her from TikTok, and I'm on Trapmore Ross's page. You are late. Definitely you should go back and rewatch, but just know that during this, I think it's going to be a lot like his flip, guys. It's just going to be a fail. All right. Oh, wait, where's the fail? We don't want to show that. We want him to do the fail. No. Oh, it's this one. He got smashed. Hold on. Sorry about that. I want to see him fail. Did he fail in this one? Why can't, did they pull it down? What's going on? Oh, there it is. Bam. Bam. There he goes. That's what's going to happen in court. I think that's what happened in court today. How about you guys? I think the prosecution definitely took over today.
Or sheriffs will let you like, hey, follow the line down the hallway, and then you walk to the location you're going to. No. When you're in orange, sheriffs escort you everywhere you go. So you're not by yourself.
You gotta go.
But David ain't exactly safe, is what I'm saying. Because people don't even know the number of folks who die in the county jail all the time. Now, I know he's infamous and people know him, so they're not going to want to be, looked at crazy if he dies.
Not really. David is not that well known to many people. He's got this following, but when you think about how many millions or how many people that we have on this planet, a lot of people never heard of David until this. Right now, if he brings the money, then I think he might be extorted and he'll be okay. But other than that, man, you can put him in your pocket and carry him around, and they probably will do that.
In jail. But man, oh man.
David's back.
It rocks and rolls in the county jail. It is not a place I would want my worst enemy to spend any evenings. So,
Big bird.
But they'd having a rough time in there.
Hey, deep.
They were having a rough time in that jailhouse, man. So they're saying orange is a high power unit, blue's normal. Yeah, we just heard all that. Okay. Special color because you're gay is crazy. Yeah, anyway. So it's very interesting, right? Some other celebrities that have been dealing with this.
Didn't he say special colors? Let me see. He said special colors because you're gay. See, he said that too. It wasn't just me. He said special colors because you're gay. Crazy. So they didn't say gay. They said gang. Is that what you're saying? All right, we both got it wrong, y'all. And some of y'all got it wrong with
Very interesting, right? Some other celebrities that have been dealing with this situation. It's not just men, but also women. In 2007, Paris Hilton was placed in administrative segregation after being transferred to the Twin Towers Medical Center.
Driven fortitude. Well,
it was another paparazzi
visit. This is when Paris Hilton's parents came and visited her in jail.
Scene for the family of Paris Hilton.
I can't believe she was even in jail. Driven fortitude. Welcome. We got a new subscriber here, guys. Please welcome Driven Fortitude. Come on in. Hit that like button. Make sure you hit all the notifications so you can see when we come on.
On Tuesday, this time outside the Los Angeles jail where the 26-year-old heiress is doing time. Parents Kathy and Rick Hilton pulled up outside the Twin Towers jail in downtown L.A., greeted by the now familiar throng of cameras on their way to see daughter Paris. They didn't say much going in after leaving their belongings in a locker, making their way inside the jail complex. As of Tuesday, Paris Hilton was in the 5th day of the medical ward at the facility. She was transferred to the jail.
So this explains it a little better, and you could see the Twin Tower Correction Facility right there. That is where David is, and I believe the medical ward is where we're talking about. What's his name up here, right? Nick Reiner, right? So you get a little better idea of the jail, what he's going to be in. Where's he going to be transferred? I guess that depends on what the consequences are, right? Maybe if he gets a death penalty, will that be a different place? Because this is just the jail, right? This isn't prison. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Friday, after a judge ordered her back behind bars after a day of house arrest in her L.A. home. Hilton is allowed non-medical visitors on Sundays and Tuesdays. After about a 40-minute visit with their daughter, the Hiltons walked calmly back to their Mercedes sedan, waving along the way. Kathy Hilton was asked at one point about her daughter's stay in the jail.
Is she sleeping right now? Is she sleeping?
No, she really hasn't had much sleep.
Any nightmares?
I think we all have nightmares.
Yes.
For now, Paris Hilton continues to serve out her 23-day minimum.
I don't know why they're doing that. They're just showing you where.
Nick Reiner's being held on first degree.
All right, and we talked about that. He's there in the psych ward wearing brown. We don't need to go over that again. Twin Towers Correctional has an A-list roster of past prisoners. Well, that's because it's right there in Los Angeles, right? This is in the LA area. So Paris Hilton, Harvey Weinstein, Nick Reiner, Jackson's Dr. Conrad Murray, Robert Downey Jr., Steo, Robert Durst. Pretty interesting.
Him going around, and it looks like he's wearing yellow, or at least he's got yellow kind of on underneath his smock. I think this is an anti-self boo-boo. I don't even want to say the word. You know what I'm talking about. So he can't do himself in like he did his parents in, okay? So TMZ would be initially reporting on David's squalid conditions in some videos that went around, and this is kind of their coverage on David's awful jail nightmare.
A week ago, David was staying in a $15,000 a month rental in Hollywood. And according to law enforcement sources, now he's being held in a segregated single jail cell with some pretty strict rules. He is not on suicide watch. He gets escorted from his jail cell to shower, which he gets to do every other day. And he's only allowed to make phone calls on.
When I was listening to this, I was like, that should be cool for David because he's stinky. People said that he would just wear the same clothes. And guys, he looked like he smelled with that damn bonnet on. DB Bentley, thank you for the $4.99 super sticker. I appreciate that. Right? He should feel right at home without taking showers and just being a dirty scrub. All right? We don't want no scrubs.
Those shower days. He gets some recreation time, but only 3 hours a week, and he has no contact with the other inmates during that rec time. He does not have access to a TV. He can't have any visitors right now, and he currently has no money on his books, so he can't buy any extras and has to rely on the bare minimum provided by the facility.
It's a rough one, right? So apparently, okay, according to Tear Talk from Prison, YouTube channel, Tear Talk from Prison to True Crime, basically it explained that David would likely be targeted for extortion if he was in the general population of the prison or the jail because of his fame.
110%. I don't know if it's the fame or the international attention, but they do know that he's got some sort of money. They gave him $3 million prior to the tour to get him settled. Rumor has it that he's using that money to pay for a lawyer. So, hey, you know what? Also, what do you guys think about if you guys are in this, been following this case with your head into it? What do you think about the songs that are being released while he's literally in the middle of a preliminary hearing waiting to go to trial? All right. A manlet. Yes, he's a little manlet. You can just fold him up and put him in your pocket. No, hashtag no lube for David.
I think that probably what you're looking at is what we would call a classification decision. And classification decisions are based on a lot of different things. In this case, the notoriety of the case, the fact of the way and the manner in which the body was found and discovered is horrific. And so there is that element of it with regards to, people who might want to do him harm. Probably the bigger calculation is the fact that, he's known to have some money. He's famous, or now I guess he's infamous at this point. And so there's a predatory group out there that would very much seek to try and get a hold of some of that money, probably sell him protection. And by that, I mean they offer.
Now, mind you, there's more evidence coming out for the CSAM material that he has as well. So I wonder how that's gonna hold over when he gets into prison or even in the jail. Right? I mean, we know how much we don't like pedos, right? Right? He's 5'5", about 125 pounds when he's wet and wearing boots. I'm going to add that to it. 5'5", 125 pounds when he's wet and wearing boots and has the bonnet on, right? MP Daughtry, welcome to the crime crew. She's an official member. Welcome her. Thank you. Glad you're here.
Not to kill him in exchange for money, so you would have a huge extortion thing. And this is not something that could happen. This is something that absolutely would happen in a case like that. So with those things being said, they know that the propensity for violence being done against him for whatever reason, and there's a variety of reasons with this guy. They have to put him into a place where they have more control over the types of inmates that he's around.
Yeah, I love that, Russ. I also like to add, kind of in partnership with what you're saying, is also the case is still evolving. I mean.
So that's kind of a little bit of backstory, all right? So later on in this interview, we would hear how the jail is kind of described, and essentially it's overcrowded, inhumane, and just unsanitary.
I like how they call it inhumane. How do you think Celeste felt as she was dying, bleeding out, and she knew you were the one that took her life, right? They literally said bleeding out while he watched her do that. Then he puts her body who knows where. I think that's going to come out as well because he did store her body somewhere while he went on tour and did his thing. So I don't know. I don't know if that's going to come out. I hope it does. I want to know what happened. Where did he keep her? How did they not know? What was that smell in the house? I mean, just so much.
rats and pest infestations, urine leaking under cell doors, defunct and overflowing toilets and daily toilet flooding, visible mold, rust, and even black worms in showers, spoiled meals, and lack of basic hygiene supplies like soap and toothbrushes, making it almost impossible for inmates to keep cells clean, and cells so small, approximately 80 square feet, that two people cannot pass each other without turning sideways. One New York Post report on Nick Reiner's housing described Twin Towers as a rat-infested, urine-soaked mental health jail, and notes that those conditions are at the heart of the Attorney General lawsuit, which alleges unconstitutional treatment and chronic sanitation failures. A DOJ-linked survey cited by civil rights lawyers ranked Twin Towers among the worst jails in the nation for staff on inmate sexual victimization, with staff perpetrated sexual abuse reports more than.
But that's not where he's going to be doing his time. So that's going to be interesting. He's there now. He's in segregation, which means he's by himself due to the fact that somebody might do something to him or extort him. MP Daughtry, thank you so much towards our goal for the $5 super sticker. All right. She did. She trusted him. And, you know, that's when anybody does that to their partner or wife or pregnant wife or ex-girlfriend or whatever, that is the most cold-blooded shit. Now, Midnight Lace, that's one of the things I always talk about when I cover cases that has to do with a family member, a mom, a potato, letting, like Eve Rogers, letting her daughter get raped regularly and then die peacefully, like she says, as she ODs, right? They all trusted. They trust their moms. They trust their husbands, their wives. It's the dirtiest, most disgusting thing that you can do. And you know that the chances go up for pregnant women. So if there was a pregnancy scare at some point, then that's even going to make that further like, I don't want any of this. Don't want it getting out. I don't want her telling people that I had her get an abortion. She's done. All right.
Double the national jail average. Human rights advocates have also criticized Twin Towers as a place where psychiatric medication is sometimes used as a control tool rather than treatment, raising further questions about how mental health care and discipline blur inside the facility. And the facility has been described as decrepit, dangerous, and structurally flawed for both safety and mental health care. This is not a clean, sterile environment. It is a loud, dangerous, overcrowded institution where the smell of illness, urine, and industrial cleaning products are the backdrop of every single day. So, Russ, when people say he's in jail, I want them to really understand what that means. This isn't a county lockup. This is a place the California Attorney General is suing because of how bad the conditions are. Does knowing that change how you think about where he is right now?
Let me go grab the crumble cookies. All right. I'll be right back. I don't feel bad for him either. That's why we're watching this, because I want you to know how miserable he's going to be, hopefully. All right. Hold on.
So that's insane, right? Just how bad these conditions are. And later on, we would hear a little bit more information basically about how David is being held all alone in administrative segregation. And he really doesn't have any control over his daily life at this point.
So Burke is housed in administrative segregation, AgSeg, which at Twin Towers is specifically designated for either high-risk escapes or high escape.
You know what else? I hope, yeah, absolutely, he's not a victim, but I do hope that Neo and Asia and all the people that were there laughing and joking and partying, I hope the reality hits them of what happened to Celeste Rivas while they were laughing about it. All right. And also their reputation is going to be tarnished. Okay. Neo and their little funny, they think it's funny. Heard him dating a little girl and the hiding it and deleting stuff. They thought that was funny, but it's not so funny. So I hope their reputation is also, it's also gets shit on. I know they're not going to get any time because I believe they're going to testify against him based on getting immunity. So we'll see. He's going to be a victim, right?
Risk inmates prone to assaulting staff or other inmates. Protective custody, noteworthy inmates and those at risk of being targeted, which I feel that's why he's in the administrative segregation area. Then you got murder suspects, and then there's a K-10 status inmates. That's maximum security individuals requiring complete separation. The Los Angeles Sheriff's Department's own policy manual makes clear that AgSeg is not a punishment. It is a protective classification. In Burke's case, it protects him from the general population and protects other inmates and staff from potential volatility. That word.
Volatility?
You know what that word is, right? Volatile?
Oh, volatile.
Yeah, volatile around his case. So under California Title 50.
That happens to me too. Sometimes I cannot pronounce something. I know the word, I know the pronunciation, but it just won't let me say it. All right, let's continue. What do you guys think about the 3 chainsaws, guys? What do you think about that? It came out that a third chainsaw was there was a third chainsaw that was missing or purchased, but now it's missing. What do you guys think about that? Where'd that chainsaw go? How did he get rid of that evidence? Did he go down to one of the lakes down there and go dump it? How is there a third unaccounted chainsaw? And if so, that must be the chainsaw that was used. I've slowed it down.
15 in Los Angeles Sheriff's Department classification policy, administrative segregation restricts the inmate to their cell for at least 22 hours.
This is at regular speed, and he's talking. What? I put it to 1.0
hours per day, and in practice at Twin Towers, high security AgSeg inmates get 2 hours out of cell at most, and Burke reportedly receives those 2 hours in strict isolation, no contact with any other inmate during that time. So now, Russ.
So he can't talk to anyone else. He's getting a little couple of hours out of his cell, and he can't talk to anyone else. He's not even allowed to cross paths with another inmate, right? How crazy is that? So eventually these guys would actually describe kind of David's cell that he's being kept in, like his actual room that he would be living in at this point. And this was really interesting.
All right, we're going to get back to this, but there's so many updates coming in, and I really want to get them to you. Hey, Shadow, good to see you. If Latinos get a hold of him, it's over, right? With Celeste Rivas Hernandez. No, Crazy Jane, we don't have any evidence at this point that shows that. But let me show you something. I mean, we are talking about the aftermath, where he's going to be held or where he's being held now and the aftermath. But as the updates come, I'm going to keep on bringing them to you. Let's see this. This just came out too with the missing chainsaw, tattooed Celeste name. Let's listen.
Tattoo of Celeste's name on his finger in red ink, kind of like hers, and they found this out when he was being booked into jail. Yeah, you heard that right. That's crazy because I'm pretty sure Celeste had a tattoo of David's name on her finger in red ink, and then that finger went missing. They also confirmed that David had the matching tattoo that Celeste had on her finger that was still there. Now we're hearing about all of those purchases, and they are claiming they weren't bought under one alias. There was actually 2 aliases. The investigator testified that David ordered the shovel on Postmates on.
Yeah, I think sometimes people might walk in and not get the context. Caroline, I'm going over the institutional conditions of where David is and where he's going to be for a while so that everyone understands he's not going to be happy. Nothing about this experience is going to be easy or good for him. So that's what we're talking about. I think you might have missed that context along with what information that Trapmore Ross has put out. This is literally called David's Life in Jail is gonna be horrific. That's what we're talking about. So if you missed that, I apologize, but that's what we're talking about. Let's continue with some of the new evidence though.
April 24th of 2025, one day after Celeste allegedly passed away. Then on May 1st of 2025 is when 2 chainsaws were bought under the fake alias that we heard earlier, Trayvon Davis. Investigator testified that both of those chainsaws were recovered from his home when they raided it in September of 2025. On May 3rd of 2025, they said that he ordered the inflatable pool under the fake alias.
So they've got a timeline laid out like crazy, right? They got a timeline in court that's happening. And the reason I'm looking at other things back and forth, guys, is because I didn't know that I'd get as much information as I did today. And so gotta have a show for y'all and tell you what's next. I didn't want to do the same thing everyone else is doing. Besides giving you the update, what's next for him? Hashtag David, hashtag no lube, hashtag guys, the graphic evidence is drawn out in this as well. So when I finish with this recap, I'm going to show you the pictures of court where they have David sitting there looking at everything, just staring, while there's fingers that popped up and shovels and evidence that the court, what do they call that? It's not a court reporter, but the people that do the drawings. Hey, Channel 53, I haven't got dinner yet. I'm hungry. All right. Let's get these updates so we can know what's happening for tomorrow.
Trayvon Davis. The next day, on May 4th of 2025, they are testifying that he ordered a chainsaw, a Makita, actually pictured here, and also a mop and a bucket under Trayvon Davis. Fifth, they say he ordered the body bags and the trash bags under the fake name Trayvon Davis.
So
July
stupid.
7th of 2025, the burn cage was ordered under the alias that we all heard before, Victoria Mendez. Then almost a week later, on July 12th of 2025, there is a fireproof mat being ordered under Trayvon Davis. Now,
guys, he would have used that incinerator if he would have been in Texas. In my opinion, I'm going to tell you that right now. Hashtag no lube, hashtag game over. He bought a freaking pad so that it wouldn't burn. He would have used the incinerator. But California, there's nowhere to, I mean, unless you go take it out to the desert and do that, which might bring smoke and attention. He thought he was going to use an incinerator. He bought an incinerator with a mat so that he didn't burn the ground. All right. It's jail, prison, let him rot. I agree. He's so stupid. But had he been in Texas with her body, you could just go out. I mean, you could probably do that in your backyard and no one will even notice that you're not, doing a brush fire or some kind of burn. Out here, and then go to Los Angeles? Nah, that's not happening.
David's defense attorney ended up cross-examining this witness, and it didn't really go so well. David's attorney, Blair Burke, started zeroing in on how the defense handled a lot of the evidence. She first started zeroing in on the black cadaver bag and asked why the whole bag wasn't stored as evidence. The investigator answered her question, saying that his supervisor and criminalist decided that because of all of the fluids in the bag from decomp, it would be impossible to even try to preserve the whole bag. Went on to testify that instead of keeping all of it, they kept certain parts like the handles and the zipper. And
oh no, he fully had the intent of burning her body. Now, mind you, that incinerator is not going to do what he thinks it's going to do. It's not like a crematorium where it gets to this temperature. There's a certain temperature it has to get to in order for it to really char a person's remains. All right. But the fact that he was even thinking about that, the fact that that thought got into him and he went and ordered it. All right. Serious that the girl related to, she does look like, she's not. You saying this girl looks like Jen Soto? She kind of does. I have not tried them yet. Crumbles are just overpriced, bougie ass cookies. Don't worry about it, Midnight Lace. All right.
Did this so they could forensic test this, but they admitted that they didn't keep the whole bag and they never forensic tested it. So they didn't swab it or anything before they basically got rid of it. Then David's attorney moves on to the burn cage. The investigator testified that when he found this burn cage, it was unopened and it was on the second floor next to the piano. He admitted this burn cage was never tested for evidence or never collected as evidence. And this is something we knew because the private investigator, Steve Fisher, who released the photos of the burn cage. David's attorneys start questioning this investigator about all three of the chainsaws. This one chainsaw in particular is the one that has never been recovered, and it makes a lot of sense because it's actually an electric chainsaw, which tend to be a lot more quiet than a normal chainsaw. But we heard about this Makita chainsaw when the private investigator Steve Fisher came out and said that he found this chainsaw right here. This is David's house in David's home. It had never been used, but the police didn't take it. And he found this box to the Makita, but he said it had no chainsaw in it. He felt from the very beginning that this is probably the chainsaw that David used because
that's what I was about to say. Guys, if you're using a chainsaw for something like that, it's going to be almost impossible to get the hair and the bones and the body and the blue fragments. And I hate to be gross, but this is the reality of what happened. All right. Yeah, everyone would have been calling. I mean, look at that. Imagine, and I don't really want you to imagine, it's pretty triggering, but just think about what would, when you watch a horror movie, right, and you got the Texas Chainsaw Massacre cutting through stuff, the chainsaw's not even really moving, right? It just makes that noise. This one would, and it would get hair trapped in and different things that you know inside your organs, and it would be a mess. What did he do with that?
This is a regular one. This one was electric, and that one was never recovered. It does make you wonder what in the world happened to this chainsaw right here. This is not the only thing that we have learned today that is missing. We also learned that David's phone that was connected to the Tesla on the last day that he drove it is also missing. I've said from the beginning of this, I feel like the actual unaliving weapon is missing too. I don't think they recovered it, but I guess we're going to find out in this preliminary hearing. In the same way that Celeste's passport ID was found by the Caltrans worker in Santa Barbara County, which they're saying David's phone and Tesla records show him going to 3 different times. So I wonder, where's this chainsaw? David's attorney then started questioning this investigator, saying, did you test these chainsaws for DNA? Did you compare the marks to the cuts that you were talking about? The investigator said he did not recall any DNA testing and he doesn't remember any forensic testing being done. Blair Berg then starts questioning a light blue iPhone 15 that was found in David's home during the searches. And that's because this investigator testified that this belonged to David because they found pictures and things like that.
But I think that probably was the phone that he gave to Celeste to use, right? You can't rinse that off. I agree. Her voice is unfortunate. Oh, guys, y'all are so mean. She's doing hard work out there. Don't give her a hard time. I you know why they said he watched. That's what I want to know too. And hopefully we find out. But guys, got to remember this. They have to still keep their hand to themselves, so to speak. If this were a game of poker, they're not showing all of their hands to you, to me, to us, to them, to anybody. They're going to use that for the trial. And maybe the defense has something like that as well. But I don't see how. I don't see what kind of defense he's going to have in this other than I didn't do it. I don't know. Oh, her body was there, but yeah, I did that, but I got rid of a body. That's it. I didn't kill her. I don't know how it happened. That's the only thing I could think of. What else could he possibly say?
Phone. He pointed to this search warrant affidavit that included a Gmail that's linked to Celeste and started questioning this investigator if they ever thought this phone was Celeste, not David's. And this investigator did respond saying that they do know the email linked to the iCloud is Celeste, but they believe that this phone is David's, not Celeste. Basically saying the email didn't have anything to do with it. The phone's owner was David. And the reason why they're doing this is because the contents of that phone. I mean, at least that's what I'm thinking. That's the only thing that really makes sense to me. And let me tell you, they got into a heated back and forth over this phone matter with objections flying and everything. More information that comes out, the crazier this gets. But I do have a lot of questions about why investigators were not testing things. It's very...
Yeah, that is. But guys, don't worry. I really, truly, with all of my heart, don't think that we're going to have a case that doesn't go through or gets dropped because they did a bad job. I don't think they did a bad job. There may have been pieces of evidence that weren't tested and some mess ups, but guys, there's so much evidence, and I'm going to prove that to you right now. Let's take a look with the drawings on the stand, him amputating the fingers and what they drew in court, and then I'm going to go over the physical, digital evidence, testimony, and statements and relationship evidence that they knew each other that was presented today. There's a ton of it. There's a ton of physical and digital evidence, guys. Even if they miss a piece or two, I don't think there's going to be a problem. Again, thank you, MP Daughtry. Shout out to you. It's birthday month, baby. Birthday, Leo season. Thank you. I appreciate y'all. All right, he's in the video, and they have tons of text and photos. Yep. They said more. They talk about more than that, but 2 terabytes, that makes sense. All right, let's drop her down. I don't know why you guys don't like her voice. My voice is very raspy. You guys like my raspy voice? Of course, I have to listen to some of these things back sometimes, and I'm like, how can you guys stand me talking for like 2 or 3 hours? I can't listen to myself talk that long. All right, I can't hear myself, but let's take a look at the court today and what they drew, what they saw. It looks like he finally is clean shaven. The last time I saw a picture of him, he had his goatee drawn in, but it seems like he wants to look all young and innocent like that. You see that? You see what he did there? And he's got glasses on, trying to look all like not like the devil.
More breaking news. Graphic evidence revealed on day 1 of the preliminary hearing to determine whether the murder case against singer David will go to trial. The hearing could last days. The family of Celeste Rivas Hernandez were there to hear it. Fox 11's Christina Gonzalez live outside the criminal courthouse in downtown LA with the update.
David was here dressed in his orange bodysuit, very attentive. Her family, Celeste's family, her dad and her stepmom here. And I'm still shaking from watching them watch.
I love being able to hear from the court since we're not in it. right? She's monotone. Thank you. I appreciate that. Guys, I have a little 2 terabyte drive right here in front of me. I'm gonna unplug it for a second because I want to show you guys. I don't want to mess this up. Don't mess this up, please. Oh no! Hold on. Dang it. That's too bad. Can you guys hear me? Hold on 1 second. Reload. Sorry, guys. Boom. All right, we're back. Sorry about that. Yeah, I don't know what happened here. I wanted to show you guys the 2 terabyte drive. Can you hear me now? So I got this tiny terabyte drive, and I've been using that drive, 2 terabytes. I've been using that 2 terabyte drive since I started streaming almost 2.5 years ago, and it's not even close to full. So put that in perspective. All right. Now you can see me, right? All right, good. Hit that like button, guys. There's 200 people in chat. Please hit that like button and get us in the algorithm, all right? It's free to do so. And thank you. I missed one, but 5 and then another 5. Thank you so much. Guys, you guys rock. Thank you.
These images, and I've seen a lot of images, but the images of her dismembered body in the back of the Tesla is something that had the entire courtroom gasping, and it is part of the evidence that they're saying will prove that he allegedly did this. Take a look.
This preliminary hearing will last approximately 3 to 5 days.
The preliminary hearing for singer David Burke, a.k.a. David, the 21-year-old wearing the Orange LA County Jail jumpsuit in court, watching as prosecutors started presenting the case they say proves that Burke killed 14-year-old Celeste Rivas. The evidence included graphic images of her dismembered remains.
All right, this is what I wanted you guys to be able to see, because imagine this and being in court and the evidence, if it's ever released. I mean, look at those pictures. They're, very non-descriptive and at the same time really descriptive. There's a trash bag in the upper corner, and then they open the bag and it looks like legs and arms right there, guys. And then they literally have a freaking right knee up there. There's a knee, and then if you look at the bag towards the left, it's a drawing, but look at that. You can see the black curly hair, and they said the head and torso was in that bag. Guys, these are little school kid looking pictures, and yet they're so disturbing. I know the family had to see it, and they looked dead on. They didn't look away. All right. Thank you, MP Daughtry. One thing for birthday, just ask. What is the one thing you'd like for your birthday? Just asking. Good health. I don't know. I have everything. I can't think of anything. But thank you for asking. I'll have to make my birthday wish on Saturday, and I can't tell anyone or it won't come true. I know. It's disgusting to even say that. GOAT trophy. But you guys see that? I mean, these are literally, I'm back, Midnight Lace. These are literally just nondescript pictures, and it's terrible. What is that? What is that, like a washer and dryer? There looks like a laundry basket, washer and dryer, chainsaw. I know. They looked on at the evidence the whole time.
Found in black body bags in the back of a Tesla abandoned near his Hollywood Hills home. Celeste's father and stepmom were in court.
Her mom was crying. Her dad looked really upset. David
Mason Monroe is one of a handful of people who won a lottery for the few public seats available for the hearing.
It was just so heartbreaking when they showed photos and how the mom was crying.
Erica Sanchez hosts a Tea Time True Crime podcast. Did you notice any reaction from Mr. Burke while they were showing those photos?
No, he actually seemed really calm with his hand on his face majority of the time.
David didn't care. He was just sitting there like...
See, he's like bored in there. When I heard people describing the way he was, I was like, this is absolutely disgusting. They showed the photos before lunch. Why not do it later? I don't know. But thank you, Deb. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. I mean, listen, they only had 10 tickets for outside people to come in. I don't think they're meaning to be insensitive, Charco. I think that's just what David created in this crime. And I don't think there's any getting out of it no matter what time you play it. So I understand what you're saying. I'm glad I didn't have to be in the court to see it. Yes, this was in his trunk while he was on tour. And he didn't even stop his tour to say, he could have stopped and looked less guilty by saying, hey, I'm out on tour. I know that. Condolences to the family. I met this girl once, whatever. He didn't say shit. He didn't even stop the show. They made him stop the show. I agree, Inquisitive P, but they're just as bad. I agree. Oh, I hate them. And I shouldn't hate anyone, but they're bad parents. All right. Thank you. Thank you. And happy birthday to all the Leos. All right. Rather for lunch, people would be. I know, right? Bye, Foxy. I'll see you tomorrow, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern. I know. David was bored.
And it was just like, all that whole thing, it took a lot out of me. It's like, everyone that was there, we're all sitting there like, damn, they're about to cry. You know what I mean? And he was just like, this is your mess. And you're sitting here.
Burke listing honest prosecutors presented evidence alleging he was in the same black Tesla the same day it was supposedly abandoned near his home with Celeste's body in the back. Also that he purchased items related to her death, supposedly having them delivered to his home using a different name. How is it looking in your opinion?
It's not looking good for him, if you ask me my opinion. I mean, with the evidence that we've seen just today.
Oh my God, they captured.
And now the family does have an attorney here, a civil attorney.
Yeah, I'm wondering why. Does anyone know why the family has a civil attorney? Are they going to sue the sheriff's department or what? I don't understand why they have a lawyer and a civil lawyer at that. Let me know. You know what? They raised the killer and they also raised manipulator and a bunch of other things. I'm not gonna, I don't go at people's parents like that. And typically I would say, nah, the parents are a victim too. They didn't have anything to do with this, but they have had things to do with this and they didn't go willingly testify when they knew, guys, they knew that Celeste Rivas Hernandez, in my opinion, that she was underage. They met her several times, according to David's brother. And we saw pictures. Of David. Oh, you heard the dog yell at me? We saw pictures of David with the family and Celeste. Wes just completely yelled at me right now. Don't you yell at me, young man.
Attorney, or somebody who's looking at the possibility of a civil case. The family didn't speak after today, after the proceedings, but he did. Here's what he had to say. What are you doing listening to this? I mean, we're looking at these images. Yeah.
They're not doing well at all. It's heartbreaking. It's absolutely horrible for them to sit through this, but they wanted to sit through this process and they wanted to observe it because they want to show their support and their love for Celeste.
Now, guys, just so you know, because we're going to be watching this together, if it doesn't go to, if it goes to trial or not, mind you, these are the Los Angeles folks, right? All of them have orange tans, fillers, and you can't tell how old any of them are. So just buckle up for that, because that's what it looks like in Hollywood, all right?
Now we have at least 10 witnesses. This is going to go on for the next 3 days, but very quickly, the point that the prosecution is making, they can prove that he was actually connected to the Tesla the last day. Like I said, they have receipts that he has been seen using and buying things at a store that day while that Tesla was being driven supposedly by him. Things like that. They're really trying to track it down. So at this point, it does look like they have somewhat of a strong case.
What kind of defense do they think they have with him driving around in a body? Wes giving his 2 cents. Did you hear him? He said, I'm like, whoa, what'd you say, buddy? All right. But how did they not know? That's what I'm saying. But look at this. Check this out. I'm going to talk about the evidence, but I also want to show you on X. They captured him really good. That body cam footage shows David eating chips and relaxing as investigators arrive. Look at that picture. Actually, just I'm not gonna make it bigger because it won't let me. Tell me that doesn't capture him to the T. That ugly looking face he makes, the flared nostrils. They did a good job. Bravo to the people that drew the court people in the Lori Vallow case, guys. They did a terrible job. It was like stick figures. Anyway, Caroline, thank you so much. Happy early birthday. It's birthday month. Thank you. My birthday's on Saturday. I appreciate you guys. Right? 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 All right. Look at David though. It's weird. They captured him so well. And there's so many things here today that are showing up in this case. Everybody's reporting on it. There's Flojo, the Celeste tattoo finger. When he was booked into custody, court testimony noticed that she had a matching tattoo with David. Right? There's so many things that came out here in today. Celeste Rivas supporters found the truck David was being transported in after the court hearing. They found the truck. Oh, wow. Look at that. So he was in there, David. His preliminary hearing, that was where they were transporting him. We're taking shots at David coming around the courthouse. Let's look real quick.
Hey, you fucking murderer.
Ooh.
Is that David? Is that David? Is that David?
They ain't gonna want to tell you,
You
dude.
sure?
They ain't gonna tell you.
Damn.
David, if you're in there, I hope you rot in hell, you murderer.
Oh, jeez.
You fucked up your whole life, bruh. Dipshit. Fucking murderer. Fuck you. I hope you end up being someone's bitch in prison. Hey, you fucking murderer.
And guys, that seems to be the general census in this case, huh? I didn't say
Is that
that.
why your pants were up?
I could have said that, but I didn't say that. All right. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff on X. But I want to give you the details. Oh, wait, we gotta look at this. Those were her shoes. That was David cleaning the shoes. People show a side hustle, by the way. Let me see. Bro, disgusting. That's literally her shoes. So you guys, I mean, I don't know how they think they're gonna get out of this. Look at the shoes that Celeste was wearing as she's covering her face like usual, and David's on the ground scrubbing the blood off of them. All right. Fugitive TV was going to fly out for the trial, but they're doing a lottery. They only picked 10 people, Fugitive TV, 10 freaking people. And no, you don't want to risk that, guys. Shout out to Fugitive TV. If you would drop his link in chat. Thanks for stopping by, man. Let me tell you guys real quick the physical evidence. All right. As we look through these files, we're going to keep seeing more and more that may not even come out in this hearing. These are just people that are on social media coming out with these things to say, look at this. There's her shoes. He's cleaning. I have proof she wore them. So the physical evidence that's going to be presented in court are the graphic photos of Celeste's decomposed body found in the trunk. The body camera footage showing David speaking to deputies claiming that Celeste told him she was 18. Guys, the plane tickets that he purchased for himself and Celeste to go to Texas and London were found during a search in his residence. An unopened Amazon box with a mini crematorium that he purchased under Victoria Mendez's name. The 2 chainsaws ordered on Amazon. The inflatable pool used for dismemberment. 2 body bags that were containing Celeste remains in the trunk, garbage bags containing the limbs, and that was found beneath the main body bag. Missing fingers, ring and pinky, allegedly amputated to hide David's name. Guys, the digital evidence is huge. Text messages and phone records show the communication, well, throughout the whole time, but particularly of the everything sexual relationship when she was 13 and how that started, along with CSAM and other pedo activities. Testimony during these days, detective describing the discovery of the body and the remains. The deputy testimony about the welfare check that we see the body cam on, checking to see if Celeste, what her age was, and if David knew that her age was a minor. Then the prosecutor's narrative that Celeste threatened to expose their relationship, prompting the killing. Then the prosecution outlined the alleged timeline from Uber to David's home, and then the stabbing and the dismemberment to the concealment in the Tesla. So, guys, this is a timeline of everything that happened involving this crime, that he took her life that day and when, etc. Okay, she sued David. I know, right? Spin it any way you want. He dated her under illicit relations. He did it. No ifs. I don't even know why he's trying to fight this and what his defense really is. All right, I can't see much of a defense. And then lastly, guys, the relationship evidence is huge. There's a big evidence. There's a big pile of evidence supported by text records and prosecutor filings that show that David and Celeste began their sexual relationship when she was 13. All right. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. But look at this. I clean people's shoes. He documents everything, guys. He literally documents every crime that he's done. Look at that. Did she tell him she was pregnant? Well, we want to know. We haven't heard yet. They're trying to prove the case of Celeste Rivas' murder. They want to prove that she went to David's house on an Uber. 20 minutes later, he stabbed her. 2 weeks later, he dismembered her. And then in September, they found her body in the Tesla. That's what they need to prove. That's what the prosecution needs to show. And I don't think they're having a hard time doing it when you keep seeing this moron doing things and filming himself doing these crimes. Look at that. Those aren't the pink ones, though. He's got both of them. He's got that pair and he's got 2 pairs. So he's got the pink Hello Kitty ones, which again, man, child, pedo, groomer, and then her shoes, which are the last ones there. And you could see him here with her hiding her face, being a child, hiding her face, eating candy. All right. I mean, this is just terrible. I mean, everything he did, I hope that he gets everything he deserves. During the hearing, prosecutors will present evidence, testimony, forensic evidence, and digital evidence supporting the charges. Look at this. Messages from Celeste to a friend about David. And then we'll wrap this up. All right. This says, I made it. And then it says, I can bleed and bleed during sex because you probably did it when you were younger. Wow-ness. So this is from what? Did you guys see these yet? Message from Celeste to a friend. So she's talking about it can bleed and bleed during sex because you probably didn't do it when you were younger. You don't have to bleed the first time. I didn't because I wasn't horny. You said bled. What? I thought I did, but I just got my period. I only bled with David. With Gus, I was drunk, and it did because he got mad at me the first time for not having sex with him. Oh my God, Gus was the one that abused her, right? I'm going to check up on you. I don't want to talk to anyone. That's it. Okay. Yes. OFC. But you have to swear you're going to stay safe. Are you going to still talk to David or go back with him? Because I don't want you to get any more trouble with him. I'm safe. No, I'm not. Okay, I love you. I'll text you in about a week. Don't delete Insta. Love you, and I won't. Guys, Anissa, don't text me. When he came back, he's crying. Do not text me. Photo, I fixed. I'm staying. Don't text. And then ¿qué tal? I guess whatever that means in Spanish. What do you mean? In my I am why. So what the F happened? I fixed him. I don't know how we both cried to get her and he changed his mind. I'm happy he did. And then she says something in Spanish. Todo va a estar bien. And dyeing her hair again. No clue, though we were crying. This is so manipulative. Look at how many things we just saw just by going on X and finding things that people posted. Yeah, and he did. He filmed. I know. There you go. Then he's going to say she OD'd and he's going to try to get the lesser charge of mutilation of a corpse. All right, guys. We've been here for 2 hours and some odd minutes. 2 hours and 7 minutes. And I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. I hope that you guys were able to pick up a membership Listen, tomorrow is going to be my Friday, I believe. Tomorrow will be July 22nd, right? Wait, is tomorrow Wednesday? Oh, we got Wednesday and Thursday, and then Friday I'll be off. So I'll be here, guys, tomorrow, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern. And on that note, we want justice for Celeste Rivas Hernandez. Please say a prayer that she gets the justice she deserves and he gets everything bad that he deserves. She had narcotics in her system, but I bet they go with OD and a lesser charge. Well, I think I think that's very possible for the defense, but I don't think I don't think the jury or anybody is buying that. All right, there's too much evidence, way too much evidence. All right, guys, much love. Send huge prayers. Today's only Tuesday, so I will be back the next couple days, and I will give a book out for my birthday when we actually have a celebration. All right, Auntie Reed, love you too. Nikki, thank you for being in chat and supporting the channel. Tara, Angel Mama of 2, much love to you. Sadie's Mama, Melissa Stewart, Channel 53. Thank you, guys. Much love to you. I will see you tomorrow, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern. Thank you, guys. Love ya. Mwah. No, he wasn't. Gus was another one. All right, I'm out. We'll be back to it.
Guilty of crime.
I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my content, please share this video, like, and subscribe. You can also follow me over at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, or Gmail. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can use Cash App or Venmo or PayPal. Thank you very much in advance. Guilty of crime.
Are you guilty?